I think the best way to pull farmers out of agriculture crisis is to make MSP a legal mechanism.
Everybody gets that minimum price which is 30% higher than the current one. To me, it seems almost impossible. Eastern India can get even the existing MSP. We will be doing a great justice to those farmers and agriculture laborers.
If free markets have failed everywhere in the world, please tell me how will they do justice to Indian farmers? The economic strength will in fact increase. We are going to see a boom in economic growth when we provide farmers with a higher economics or higher income. We need to have a kind of a system that ensures that the income of those farmers goes up. They don't have to throw it on the streets. When I see farmers being questioned because they are eating pizza, and then somebody says that they are coming in safari cars and so on and so forth, I think these kinds of animations will be thrown at farmers at any protest or any such meetings and so on.
Why do you think farmers will be better off if a minimum support price is made legally mandatory?
Indian farmer is at the bottom of the pyramid, and we need to understand the reason for that is that the farmer has been left by and large to the market forces. Market forces have failed everywhere in the world to provide farmers with a higher income. Even now, when Europe's witnessed protest by farmers, we have seen the French farmers, when they met the President Macron recently or 2 days back, they have also put up a note to the President saying what the farmers need is a assured price for their produce, and in fact they are suggesting it should be, everyone should be banned from purchasing below that price, and I think that is what Indian farmers are also asking. If you look at America agriculture is also in distress, European agriculture is in distress, Indian farmers are in distress, even Philippine farmers are in distress. The point is it runs across the world and farmers are suffering because of markets. If markets were so wonderful, I don't understand why the OECD countries should be providing more than $260 billion as subsidy support every year. And having said that, I think it is very clear that in India, the average income of a farming family, according to the Economic Survey 2016, was 20,000 rupees in 17 states of India, which means half the country. The farmers were living under or living in.
No, but so far, Devinder Sharma, I've heard from you a rhetorical response. No, here my question, sir. Professor Ashok Gulati has given you a very specific scenario of what may happen if a minimum support price is legally mandated. I want you to use the wealth of knowledge and experience. You have to try and counter that on facts, not on rhetoric. He's saying you set the minimum support price artificially high.
Sorry.
And you don't allow, and people who don't want to pay that price will not pay, and therefore a large part of the produce will go unpurchased. Nobody will be willing to come forward to buy it. Farmers will therefore be worse off rather than better off. That is his specific example. Try and counter that.
Rahul, I am aware of what the question is, and I also see the point that you are making. What I said was to first give a kind of impression for the global agriculture, and I think we need to understand it is not rhetoric. It is something that people need to understand. B, let me be very clear. Why farmers should not be getting an MSP, a legal MSP? I think a lot of people are saying that, and we know how the government is projecting or how the media is getting those notes which are unsigned every day, with tossing various figures that this will be the burden on the country and so on and so forth. I think the best way to pull farmers out of agriculture crisis is to make MSP a legal mechanism. Farmers everywhere in the country should get that price. Now, your question, somebody will buy, somebody will not. I think this can all be sorted out. It is not a difficult proposition for the country. But what we need primarily is to see that, nobody is, or let's say the country, nobody is trading below that price. That is what the farmers are demanding.
So, but that goes against the basic principles of economics. You cannot dictate a minimum price in a free market. Let's assume you set the price at 100. A certain amount of the produce will get picked up by the traders. The rest they will not touch. So that part of the produce will then go unpicked up from the farm fields and will lie, and the farmer will get no money. That's the economic argument. You can't artificially set a price higher than what the market is willing to pay for it. That's economics 101.
I'm saying economics 101 is the problem here. We haven't got out of economics 101. And why I'm saying this is because we need to understand if free markets have failed everywhere in the world, please tell me how will they do justice to Indian farmers? Is a question
this is not free market. You've set the price artificially high. Sir, Professor Ashok Gulati is taking your argument. He's setting the price artificially high. He's telling you what will happen later. A lot of the produce will not get picked up. It will just lie. It will rot in the fields.
Rahul, please let me explain. Why are you rushing through? If I'm saying that when you said free market time, that is what I'm saying. Free markets have failed everywhere in the world. Listen to me. And then I'm trying to say that, if you make it obligatory for everyone to see that, no trading takes below that price, I don't think there is a question coming up that, there will be too much at one time and there will be food to rot and so on and so forth. I think let's be very clear. Even today, food is being thrown on the streets. We know that with all these markets operating, food is being thrown on the streets. We need a kind of a mechanism where, farmers do not lose out. What is wrong in that?
Milk, which is the biggest agri-commodity, which is equal to wheat, rice, sugarcane, plus all pulses put together. Why we should not have an MSP for that and say that below 100 rupees nobody can buy? And then you see the consequences of it. It has huge implications, not only for the distortions it will put in the agriculture economy and to the farmers, especially the smallholders, who will not be able to go and knock the doors of the government. Even the existing MSP, as I said, they are not getting. Then the whole economy will get into a turbulence and increasing food inflation and all those consequences on the fisc and all that. So I think we have to be pretty rational. If we can fix the existing system, Eastern India can get even the existing MSP, we will be doing a great justice to those farmers and agricultural laborers. For 59 years, we have not been able to do that since the inception of Agriculture Prices Commission in 1965. So I think what we are talking is maybe a desire or dream, but operationalizing that and ensuring that everybody gets that minimum price, which is 30% higher than the current one, to me, it seems almost impossible.
What is special about the farmers of Punjab? Why should they be given special treatment? What about those in Bihar, Assam, West Bengal who get paid much lesser? They don't benefit from MSP in the way that farmers in Punjab and Haryana do.
When we talk of free markets, and let's take the example of Bihar, when in 2006 we shut down the APMC and so on in Bihar, we were trying to say that this is the harbinger of a new revolution, market-driven agriculture. We know that even today, a lot of produce comes from Bihar and Eastern UP to sell in Punjab and Haryana. Why? Because what they are getting by free markets in Bihar is about 30% or 40% less than what Punjab is paying, or the MSP that Punjab is delivering. So we need to understand that if the Bihar farmers were getting MSP at that rate at which Punjab farmers are getting, we would have seen a kind of a rate of growth in Bihar which would have been unprecedented for a state like Bihar, that we call it as a hub for labor force and so on and so forth. The point I'm trying to make is we must understand that giving a higher income to farmers is the way forward, and I think it will not be a curse on the society. You need to understand today the Vice Chancellor of Punjab Agriculture University has in an interview said that farmers need an assured income or an assured MSP for crop diversification. He's saying that. And we need to understand, we can't go on repeating these kinds of, statements being thrown at us that, oh, the world is going to collapse or India is going to collapse. No, on the contrary, Indian agriculture will grow. Now, you talk about, milk and pulses and or fruits and so on. All these things, yes, we need to bring up a kind of a system there also that the farmers get assured prices. We have seen TOP, the government brought out a scheme called TOP. Then it turned into grain. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. We know why it is not working, because we leave it to markets. I think what we need is an assured price for the farmers is what I'm saying. We need to understand this rather than, coming up with the fear psychosis that some people are creating. I don't think the country is going to face an economic crisis. I think the economic strength will in fact increase. We are going to see a boom in economic growth when we provide the farmers with a higher economics or higher income. That is what the country needs at this particular juncture. And it can be done not only for cereals or for other agriculture produce, but also for commodities like milk, or for milk already has a better system of procurement. But looking at the fruits and vegetables, we need to have a kind of a system that ensures that the income of those farmers goes up. They don't have to throw it on the streets.
Now, there are two ways to get income going and somewhat stable income so that the risk of volatility is reduced. On the production front, you have to increase productivity with sustainability, and for that you have to invest in agriculture, R&D and irrigation and whatnot. But the discussion today is on the prices. So how much prices you can give if the market, yes, market is volatile, it's not perfect, but will the government start procuring everything if there is a huge surplus? Will the government start procuring, bhindi and tomato, and there are more than 100 commodities? What is so special about these 23 commodities? And Punjab farmers, with all the due respect, actually don't face any risk on the price front because they dump all the paddy and wheat to the government. In fact, the procurement of paddy in Punjab in many years is more than the production of paddy in Punjab. And as Devinder Sharma said, it's all coming from. So if you have to give justice to a larger, community of farmers, you need to put, some risk mitigating measures in eastern UP, Bihar, and others. Now, if they start procuring from there, government will be ending up with 100 million tons of rice procurement, and then you give them free. Look at the financial implications of that. Even just this wheat and rice, two commodities, 2,12,000 crores is the food subsidy. Now, you want to sell everything free, and then you want to procure, and this is only two commodities in 5-6 states. If you open up for 23 commodities and why for only 23, go for 100, then you see the consequences on the fisc.
When I see, farmers being questioned because they are eating pizza, somebody says they are wearing safari suits, and then somebody says that they are coming in safari cars, and so on and so forth. I think these kinds of innovations would be thrown at farmers at any protest or any such meetings and so on. Having said that, I think what is more important is to see that, when you say that the farmers in this part, what is so special in Punjab, I think Punjab was an area which the government at one time picked up for increasing the agriculture production. At that time, when the India was living under ship-to-mouth existence, it was Punjab which bailed India out. We know what kind of policy initiatives were taken at that time to boost the production. It was what the government did, and the farmers followed. And what has been done by Punjab farmers is remarkable. They have created history. Let's honor that. Let's respect that.